The day a wildlife expert humbled an arrogant science teacher. My 8-year-old nephew, Tyler, is completely obsessed with bats. I'm talking built his own bat house, tracks echolocation on his iPad, level of obsessed. His prized possession is a field journal signed by a famous TV wildlife biologist. So you can imagine his shock when his third-grade science teacher, Mrs. Higgins, told the class that bats are completely blind and constantly fly into people's hair. Tyler, being the polite but nerdy kid he is, raised his hand. He explained that bats actually have great eyesight and use echolocation to hunt, not because they're blind. He even pulled out his signed journal to show her a diagram. Mrs. Higgins was not having it. She snatched the journal right out of his hands. She told the class Tyler was spreading internet nonsense and confiscated his book. To make it worse, she made him sit in the corner and write, "I will not question the textbook," 50 times. When Tyler's mom, my sister, found out, she was livid. She emailed Mrs. Higgins, politely explaining the facts. Mrs. Higgins replied, "I have been teaching the exact same curriculum for 25 years. Bats are blind." End of discussion. My sister didn't argue back. Instead, she called in a massive favor. Her best friend is a senior zoologist at the State Wildlife Center. 2 days later, my sister and her friend walked right into Mrs. Higgins' classroom, right in the middle of a science block. And they didn't come alone. They brought a rescued, large flying fox bat in a clear travel enclosure. The kids gasped. Mrs. Higgins turned ghost white. The zoologist smiled and gave a beautifully interactive presentation, proving, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that bats can see perfectly fine. She let the kids look at the bat's huge eyes and systematically debunked every single myth Mrs. Higgins had just taught. Mrs. Higgins just stood there, completely silent, her face turning bright red. Before leaving, the zoologist walked right over to Mrs. Higgins' desk, opened the top drawer, and pulled out Tyler's confiscated journal. She handed it back to Tyler and added her own signature, right next to the TV stars. By the next week, the principal announced a mandatory science curriculum update for all staff. And Tyler, well, he's basically a legend in the 3rd grade.